And I'll do my best to explain it non-technically, but trust, right? If I go and I buy these tomatoes, I can send you the money, but there's very little recourse for me to receive that money back if there's no product. Then you have this registration system that requires you to vet all of these people, which requires you to be trustworthy. And it creates this circular dependency of trust, right? With Nexus, it also creates middlemen too, right? So if the incentives, right, if you have your platform, you may have to pay a fee, a trade fee in order to use this platform. With Nexus, what it does is it's an open-ended software development kit, basically. So the marketplace will just allow people to create a token. Basically, in response, I grew 1,000 tomatoes, I make 1,000 tokens. You put it for sale on the market, and that being a geospatial market, other people discover it, but then you use a smart contract that engages an escrow, right? So I'll put my money into the escrow to prove to you, let's say I'm buying tomatoes from you, Mitch. I prove to you I have the money. I put it in the escrow contract. You put the 100 tomatoes that I'm buying from you into the escrow contract, and you have the transportation issue. You can either go and you can pick it up, and then both of you can sign and agree, and then the funds are released to you, and then I get my tomatoes. Or let's say it's something across town and I don't have the capability to pick it up. Let's say it's a large load. That's where you get into the peer-to-peer transportation system, right? As we've seen Uber, right? Uber was so powerful because it was somewhat decentralized. It still ran through a centralized framework that allowed anyone with a car to start driving people around. So we're building a similar model as a part of the peer-to-peer exchange. You have the escrow contract, which is really important. And then you have the tokenization of supply and discovery of the orders. And then the third thing is transportation. So with crypto, right, for instance, I can put $1,000, let's say I'm Phil's the driver, and he puts $1,000 into a smart contract that says, hey, this is my collateral. Now, Phil, having that collateral now, can go and engage and transport escrow contracts. So, hey, he's got tomatoes, it's $100 worth of value. So he picks up that contract, and then he, through the blockchain, will be the custodian, temporary, of those tokens, and then transport the tomatoes. And then ideally, he would sign with the buyer to say, here's your tomatoes. The buyer will say the tomatoes look good. Okay, you transported them here. I'm happy with that. And then they'll both sign. And so it'll take 2 of 3 signatures to release. Or if Phil never gets the tomatoes, then the seller's like, well, I gave him the tomatoes, and the buyer's like, I gave the money. Well, then Phil's basically deposit would be forfeited to the person that lost.